Hi guys, it's Justine, but you can call me Blondie. For today's video, I'm going to be trying out this Tarte Rainforest of the Sea Volume 3 palette that came in my January boxycharm. If you watched my January boxycharm unboxing, then a lot of the stuff that I'm about to say is going to be a bit repetitive. This intro is going to be kind of long, so I'm going to tell you kind of my experience with Tarte eyeshadows and what I kind of expect from this palette before I actually dig in and try it out. So first off, here's what the outer case looks like. I don't know why, but I keep getting like out of breath. This is what the outer case looks like, and then when you open it up, it has this big beautiful mirror, but then these are the shades, and they are all super similar. They're all shimmers, even the one matte shade that they claim is a matte, which is this one right here. It's called Tiki. Even that one has a tiny bit of shimmer in it, so there's really no true mattes in this palette. Plus, they're all kind of the same color. I mean, there are 5 colors right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, maybe even this one, that if I put them on my eyes, I feel like they're all gonna look exactly the same. Plus, them being all shimmers, I feel like there's only a limited amount of looks that you can do with this palette. A lot of people have described it as a neutral palette, but I mean, it's really only a neutral palette if you have very fair skin like myself. If you have a darker skin tone, this isn't gonna be a neutral palette for you. I think I've even read somewhere, does it say on here? No, I think I read somewhere that this is described as a highlighting eyeshadow palette, which if that is the purpose of the palette, being a highlighting eyeshadow palette, then yes, I feel like that's exactly what it is. I'm going to use this on my eyes, and I'm also going to try to use it as a highlighter today. Now, I just kind of want to talk about my experiences with Tarte eyeshadows, especially Tarte shimmer eyeshadows, before I get into this, so that way you guys can kind of know what I'm expecting. The only Tarte eyeshadow palette I've tried before, my daughter's eating lunch over here and she's kicking her feet, so that's what that sound is. I apologize if it's distracting. But the only other Tarte eyeshadow palette I have is this Tartelette Flirt palette, and I really love the mattes in this palette, but these shimmers right here are so bad. I mean, like, they might as well be mattes, because I put them on my eye. I have to put, first of all, a lot of product on my eye, and I have to mess with it a lot. Like, I have to use my finger, I have to like spray my finger with a setting spray, I have to put a eyeshadow primer on, and that's pretty much, like, all of those combined are really the only way I can get the shimmers to stick. And then as soon as I put mascara on, there's already shimmers on the back of my eyelashes sticking to my mascara. And that happens a lot with shimmer eyeshadows, but usually it's not till the end of the day, when I've been wearing makeup all day, that I look at my eyelashes and I'm like, wow, all the shimmer and glitter is stuck to the back of my eyelashes. But with this palette in particular, like, the shimmer falls off immediately. So I'm not a fan of the Tarte shimmer shades, but then again, I've only tried these 2 shimmers in the Tartelette Flirt palette. Like I said, the mattes in this palette are amazing. If you can get your hands on like an all matte eyeshadow palette from Tarte, I would recommend that. But we're gonna go ahead and try this. So, like I said in my boxycharm video, this packaging is so nice. The packaging feels really high quality. I don't usually like round palettes like this because I feel like they're just harder to store than square palettes. It's harder to fit them inside of a drawer and stack them on other palettes, etc. when it's a circle. But I actually really like this. I was surprised that I liked that. It's still gonna be harder to store, so what I think I might do is just keep the box and store it in the box when I put it with the rest of my makeup, just to make storage easier. But like, the packaging just seems really high quality. I love the little peacock feathers on top. And yeah, so without further ado, now that I've had that long little rant, let's go ahead and actually try out these shadows. So I'm going to actually put on some Too Faced Shadow Insurance to prime my lids a little bit. And I'm just going to use my finger to put this on. I used to use this primer all the time, and I stopped for a while, and then I found it in my makeup drawer, tried it out again, and I realized that it really helps pigment with eyeshadow, because I was just using concealer for a while, but Shadow Insurance I feel works even better than concealer. Anyways, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna start out with the matte shade, which is not a true matte. It's this shade Tiki, and I'm going to use it to set the primer. Now this is a very light shade. This could easily be like a powder foundation against my skin tone just because this shade is so light. So for me, this is like the equivalent of setting a concealer with like translucent powder. Next, I'm gonna go in with the second darkest color. It is Jewel. It is like this light gold right here. And I'm going to try to add some depth to my lid. So I'm just going to blend it right here. That does have a nice shimmer to it. And the shimmer went on actually really well without me having to do anything. Like you can see the little specks of glitter. The pigment of it is also really nice. I'm gonna do the same thing to this side, just in the crease and kind of the outer edge of my lid. Wow, I'm surprised with that one. Next, I'm gonna take the second darkest shade, which is Malibu, and lightly blend some of that on top of the gold shade, just kind of in the outer corner and into the crease a little bit, just to give it a little more depth. This one doesn't seem to be as pigmented, but it also could just be because I'm putting a shimmer on top of another shimmer. So now I'm just like really trying to pack it on, which I don't know if you can tell, but since it's a shimmer on top of a shimmer, it is making it a little cakey right there. But I feel like that is something that I could work with. Now I'm just gonna try to blend like the outer edge to make it not so harsh. Now I think I'm gonna take Escape for my lid. It's this one right here, which is, it looks like the second lightest to me. I'm pretty sure that is the second lightest, and then Treasure right here is like the lightest. So I'm gonna take Escape and I'm gonna use my finger to try to just pack as much on. That's really pigmented. Feels like really creamy to the touch. I think the formula of this might be different than the Tarte Flirt palette because these ones are really dry to the touch, whereas this one is really creamy. And anyone, like if you know if the Rainforest of the Sea shadows are different formula than the Tartelette shadows, please let me know in the comments below. So far, I really like that. Now I'm going to take just a little pencil brush and do my under eye. And I'm going to do this gold shade, which is Jewel. Use that again for my under eye. And then I'm going to take Malibu, which is that brown shade. Do that on the outer corner. And then I think I'm gonna take Treasure, which is that super, like, pretty much white shade, and put that on the inner corner. I'm gonna use my finger for that, because using a brush, the brush did literally nothing with that shade. There we go. I'm gonna try to blend it a little better. And now I'm just gonna finish my eye makeup. I'm gonna do some winged liner with the Tartelette. No, this is the Tartiest. I can't keep up with all the Tarte collections. This is the Double Take eyeliner, and I'm going to use the liquid eyeliner side and do a wing. I'm going to use this Marc Jacobs mascara and also pop on some Kiss false eyelashes. And these are the Pixie O2 false eyelashes. Okay, and so next I would like to put on some lipstick, but before that, I want to test out this palette as like a highlighter palette, because most of these shades I feel like would be really good for highlighter. So I'm going to do, I think I'm going to use Escape for my brow bone, and then I'm going to use Treasure for the rest of my face. And Treasure is that like really white shade. So Escape, and then Escape is that second to the lightest shade. So I'm going to put that on a brush and just highlight my brow bone with this one. I don't like a like super blinding highlight on my brow bone like the rest of my face, which is why I'm not using the lightest shade on my brow bone. But you of course could use the lightest shade if you like a super intense brow highlight. And then I'm going to use my finger for the rest of my face. I'm using Treasure again, which is this white shade. And that's really pretty. I don't think I would buy this palette just for the purpose of highlighting my face. I'm gonna take Escape and just put that on top of the other highlight, just to make it like blend in a little more, because Treasure was like really intense. I'm gonna do the same thing. Start off with Treasure and then go in with Escape on my nose and upper lip. I'm gonna blend that out a little more with a brush. Okay, that was a bit too much on my nose. Maybe I can take some of that matte shade Tiki, since I said it was basically my skin tone, and just blend that. Use that to blend it out. There, that worked perfect. So, as I was saying, I don't think I would buy this for the purpose of only using as a face highlighting palette. But if you got it in your boxycharm and say these colors are too light or they're colors that you wouldn't use as eyeshadow, it does work as a highlighting palette. So now I'm just going to pop on some lipstick and then I will tell you my overall thoughts. Okay, so my overall thoughts of this palette is that the shimmers are actually really good. I did have some fallout. I noticed this when I was putting false lashes on. I did have some fallout, and the fallout was like down here. There's a little bit up here. Most of the fallout was like down here. So I'm assuming it's from actually blending the eyeshadow instead of just random glitter falling out. I am almost positive the formulation of this palette is completely different than the Tartelette palettes, because these are so creamy. I did have fallout, but not nearly as much. And the glitter actually stayed on my lids. I don't think I have any glitter on the back of my eyelashes so far. I'm sure that'll change by the end of the day when I've been wearing it for a while, but like right away, no glitter on the back of my eyelashes. So I'm pretty sure there's only fallout when I was blending it. I'm actually really surprised at how well these shimmers worked together, and I was able to create like a cohesive look. I do wish, however, that there were some more darker shades, because right now we only have really 2 shades that I would use like in the crease and to create some depth. And my skin is really light. If your skin is darker, then these aren't going to give as much depth on your skin tone. So I wish there was more variation in shades. Like there's another Tarte Rainforest of the Sea palette. I'll put a picture of it here. That was another one that you could get in boxycharm. And that one had a lot more variation. I think that palette, I would have preferred to get that palette just because I feel like there's more looks I could have made with that palette. But as far as formula goes, I think this is really good. I think I would most likely use this palette in the summertime when I'm going for like a very highlighting, dewy, natural look. I just don't see myself using this every day because I like to use a combinations of like mattes and shimmers in my everyday makeup look. I also like to use a lot of color lately, and this just does not have the color that I'm looking for. But as far as like formula goes, I'm really happy with it. It was really easy to blend. The glitter is staying on. And I mean, worst case scenario, if you also got this in your boxycharm and you just know you're not going to use it, you could use it as a highlighting palette, because I'm also very happy with this right here. That highlight is super blinding. Also keep in mind, if you think it's too much highlight, I also have 2 umbrella lights and a 3rd light right here on my face, reflecting directly on it. It's not as blinding like in person as it is on camera. But yeah, wow, I'm really surprised at how good this was. So that is my quick little review of this Tarte Rainforest of the Sea Volume 3 palette. Honestly, as much as I like the formula, all of the Rainforest of the Sea palettes kind of look the same, and I would not purchase another one just because all of them are kind of similar. They're all just different variations of shimmery neutral colors. So that's it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. If there's any other products that you would like me to review, especially products from like boxycharm boxes, please let me know down below and I will be sure to do those. There's a few other palettes that I've gotten recently that I want to review. So yeah, that's it. Thank you so much for watching. Bye guys.